The 2026 Winter Olympics are underway in Italy, bringing together nearly 3,000 athletes from around the world. Now, when you think of the Winter Olympics, Africa isn't the first continent that comes to mind, right? I mean, snow, ice, sub-zero temperatures, none of it feels familiar. And yet, Africa is present. In fact, a record 14 African athletes from 8 countries are competing, with Benin and Guinea-Bissau making their debut. That's more than double the continent's representation at the last competition. Now, Africa has never won a Winter Olympic medal, but with hopes rising, could this be the start of something new? Hey, so joining me now are 2 pioneers of African winter sport. Samuel Ikpefan, Nigeria's first ever Olympic cross-country skier competing at these games, and also Simidele Adeagbo, Nigeria's first Winter Olympian who made history in skeleton in 2018. Great to have you both with us. Look, Samuel, you are fresh based on the fact that you're competing in this particular Winter Olympic Games. What does it feel like really representing Nigeria at the Olympics?
I'm just proud of my country. I'm just happy to be here, you know, to compete, to participate on my second Olympic Games. And I'm just proud to represent all Nigerian people in the world, you know. Yeah, it's just beautiful, you know. Yeah, it's amazing to compete in Winter Olympic Games. You know, it's a little bit more difficult than Summer Games. So yeah, I'm just happy to represent all my people in Nigeria, everywhere in the world. So yeah, it's it's huge. It's really huge.
I can only imagine. I mean, look, we have Simidele here, who started it all, the first Nigerian to break that barrier. That was back in 2018. See, Simidele, can you take us back to that moment and what it meant to you?
Oh, well, first of all, Samuel, congratulations. It's so awesome to see everything that you're doing out there on the snow. I know for a fact it's not easy, so keep it up. Good job. But representing Nigeria, as Samuel said, is a very special privilege and honor to know that you are the one representing so many people in Nigeria and around the world. You know, we are Africa's giant. We are well represented everywhere you go. You meet Nigerians. So to know that on the ice, you are that sole representative and doing it for the first time was super special. So I just have great memories of, you know, making history in 2018.
Right, right. Look, I mean, as a Ghanaian, we can agree to disagree that Nigeria is Africa's giant, but I digress. That's not the point of this discussion. Let me come to you, Samuel, on this. Look, you had your first competition in this Winter Olympic Games. You did not advance in that particular event, but you're still in there. You have a slot or a shot later. But what did that loss mean to you? What did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, you know, well, for me, it was on Tuesday. It was the sprint. So the sprint, it's like you can compare the sprint on cross country ski. It's like 400 meters in athleticism or 800 meters, because you know the track it's between 1.2 and 1.6 kilometers. So it's really fast. So. What about my experience? My experience on this track, it was just incredible. On the public was really crazy on the track. You know, they push you, they shout your name, and it was really crazy. And I'm really happy of my race. You know, but I have some expectation about you know, my feeling and my shape. But yeah, it was a big experience for me. It was my first race of this week, and I have time on Friday to come back for my other race.
Right. I like the way you're looking at it. A quite positive way to look at it. Losing is not necessarily the end of it. The experience you gather is even more important. Look, while we're talking about all of this, the elephant in the room is the challenges that are still in play. So let's talk about them, Simidele. For instance, Kenyan skier Sabrina Simade recently withdrew from the Winter Olympics because of financial difficulties. Now, on a personal level, what does it really take to represent a country in winter sport?
Ooh, yeah, so that's a loaded question because it takes a lot. If I'm to be brief and short, it takes a lot of mental focus, physical demand, but of course, you can't do anything without financial support. And that is the biggest thing I think people should know when they see countries like Nigeria represented at the Winter Olympics, because oftentimes, and I'll speak specifically to Nigeria, a lot of this is self-funded by the athletes, meaning the athletes pay for everything. In my case, in the sports of skeleton and bobsled, everything that you need to be successful in the sport, things as basic as a coach, the equipment, travel and accommodation, that comes from the athlete. So it's very self-funded. And you think about, we're all excited about the Olympic Games happening now. But the Olympics are only about 17 days, but it took 1,460 days, a 4-year journey to get to those last 17 days. And so when you think about all of the things that add up in that time, example, a bobsled is $40,000 US. You need a sled to be able to do the sport. You can't do the sport without it. So that adds up, and those are heavy bills to pay for an athlete representing their country. So that's something that I think is important for people to know because it comes at a real cost.
Right, real cost. And I'm wondering, listening to Simidele Samuel, if you got any support from the Nigerian government and if that was enough for you.
I don't receive nothing. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't receive nothing from my government, from Nigerian Ministry of Sports in Nigeria. I pay everything by my own pocket, by a sponsor. It takes time, it takes money, it's really expensive. Like Simi told you now, you need to buy everything because, Olympic Games is just the cherry on the cake, Before the Olympic Games, you have a lot of things to do. You need to compete, forget good points, because if you don't have a good point, you cannot compete or participate on World Championship, World Cup, or whatever you want. Big event. And for me, this year, I was really struggle because, I have 3 jobs, and I mix with my 3 jobs between my training and I didn't receive nothing from my government,
I mean, it's listening to both of you, I'm just wondering, because if it was me, if I'm not getting any support, I would not be motivated at all to even do the sport. So where is the motivation coming from? Let's start with you, Samuel. I mean, why did you still find the need to compete?
Because I'm a sportsman. Because I love compete. I love fights between each other. This is my motivation, and I grew up with this feeling on my family. We are a big sports family.
Yeah.
And my motivation is just to keep a pleasure because I love it. That's why I continue, But I cannot continue if I don't have a support behind me, It's really difficult. But I continue because I have some objective. I have a goal. So I need to continue. But it's I think for Semi it's the same also because we love sports. That's why we love every sport. That's why.
Right. I mean, there's only an extent to which motivation can get you. At the end of the day, money is still needed. Simidele, you competed 8 years ago. Since then, how has support for winter athletes in Nigeria evolved, or has it evolved at all?
Sadly, it hasn't evolved. I think the excitement is there, the enthusiasm, the pride is there. So I get so many messages from Nigerians everywhere, so excited to see me on the ice, to see my teammates on the ice, and that feels really good. But you need more than just the cheers and the excitement. You really need that infrastructure and that support. And so in bobsled and skeleton, we are still still in our very early phases of building the foundation of what we could be. I'll use the Jamaican bobsled team as an example. I think some people are familiar with the movie Cool Runnings, and that was inspired by their journey almost 40 years ago. And so we have seen the Jamaican bobsled team make a lot of progress in that 40 years, and they're just finally to the point now where they had a very successful season where they got a few medals at the international level, and that's really exciting to see. It took nearly 40 years, but I think we can do it more quickly. But it just takes somebody to really invest from the top level, on the government level, the NOC level, the federation level, because the talent is there. We have great athletes. Just like Jamaica has great sprint talent, Nigeria has great talent in a multitude of sports. And so if we really wanted to put the focus in winter sports, I think the talent is there. We just need to build some infrastructure, get serious about investment, and support our athletes. And I think we can make way more progress than we've made since my debut in the Olympic Games in 2018.
Right.
But somebody just has to put in the work.
Right. I wonder if you understand critics, though, because critics are asking why African governments should invest in winter sports at all, considering the overall lack of interest, considering the fact that many African countries do not have winter. So why waste money on that is how people put it. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I would like to see who says there's a lack of interest. That's not what I'm hearing in the circles that I'm in and in the feedback that I get from the community that I see online and different places. There is tons of interest. I think what's missing is access and opportunity. And so we have to separate those two and be very clear. If there's no interest, that's a separate thing, but that's just not what I'm seeing. Okay. So I think the critics need to be really clear about what the challenges are, what the barriers are, and work hand in hand to create that access and opportunity that's currently missing.
Right. Samuel, you have the final words. It's special because you're competing this time at the Winter Olympics. Look, when you look at the broader picture, what does the future of Africa at the Winter Olympics look like to you?
Like Simi say, we have big talent, and on my sports like cross-country skiing, we can also training on the summer. We use roller ski, it's the same like winter. We can use on the roads, and also on the bobsleigh, they can use infrastructure to, just training and everything. So we have this possibility. We just need to have some people from our government push me, push every athlete, every youth and every people in Africa, because we have a lot of country like Morocco, Lesotho, they have some snow. They can organize big events. We can organize big events. We have a big economy in Africa, so it takes time, but it's really becoming, step by step.
Right. Great to have you both, Samuel Ikpefan, Simidele Adeagbo. Thank you both. But hey, particularly to you, Samuel, you have another event coming up soon. All the best with that. And hope we can talk soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good luck, Samuel.
Thank you.